There are very few careers these days that people can go into where they're completely unaffected by anything digital. I work across the entire university. I don't just work with one faculty or one department. I work across the entire thing. And I come across lots of, genius little pockets of interesting stuff and creativity and an enthusiasm and buzz. And very often I find that behind departmental closed doors. And it just seemed all a bit wrong to me, frankly. And where did Digifest come from? It came from work that was done by a student last year. And she was looking at digital literacies across UCL. After we'd gone through all that, it was kind of like, so what do we do with all this stuff now? What can we do? And then somebody in the team said, oh, let's do an event. And I went, oh God, no, let's not do an event. Let's do something completely different. The reason why I was initially against doing just another event was because I'd seen so many events organised by everybody else, and they all had one thing in common. There was always a lot of staff in a room. It was e-learning people, librarians, careers people, and they were all talking about digital literacies in students and what to do to promote these digital literacies in students. And I sat there and I thought, well, hang on a minute, the obvious thing surely is to ask the students. I reached out to a bunch of societies that I thought would be possibly loosely interested in digital stuff. And we got everybody into a room, everybody who responded into a room in early April to just brainstorm, really loosely brainstorm, and just walked away with 139 ideas from that, which I thought was pretty phenomenal. Went through them all and kind of had them on pieces of paper and grouped them very loosely into topic areas, really. It was all those kind of loosely related topics that kind of felt like they should be grouped together.
Open data is basically data that's been released by governments, institutions, universities, researchers, or just groups of people that want to contribute to human development. Governments are releasing data in order that citizens understand how the governments function, how they're spending our money, how they're spending our taxes, and how research is moving towards an open policy so people can get involved into participating in government's decisions.
So Bitcoin is a form of money which was invented by computer programmers in order to basically send something to each other, which they call bitcoins. There are some monetary units there. Some people actually take it very seriously and they exchange this play money against euros, pounds and dollars. So eventually it became real money. So there's no central authority in the system, so anybody can just send some bitcoins to another computer, to another person. And if you know somebody's public key, you can send them money and they will appear by magic of cryptography on their mobile phone or on their laptop. It is a technological revolution because it uses cryptography, and actually it's not easy to make good cryptography. So there are tens of years of development of cryptographic technology behind it. It's the same sort of technology which underpins the internet. People with their computers can do the job of the bank. The banks are somewhat redundant nowadays.
I'm a BFA final year student at the Slade School of Fine Art, and I make kind of experimental virtual worlds. I think like the gap between cinema, and especially like old cinema, and ideas about the mechanical eye and virtual reality hasn't quite been bridged yet. So, I mean, I come from a cinema background. Like I made films for my first 2 years at the Slade and then started making video games later on. I guess that influence kind of stuck with me, especially like the film essay. It's always shot from kind of the point of view of the director looking over the scene. Well, no one's really kind of linked the two, even though it's integral to the video game. The game's kind of this extreme capitalist kind of world at the end of time where everyone else is dead and only the 1% have survived, and they're kind of stuck in this hotel, which is like endless and fragmentary, and every time you leave a room it randomly selects another room, so you're kind of endlessly travelling in a cyclical kind of nature around it. The game's called Luxury Simulator, and the idea is that the only way now, with the way the wealth gap is, etc., the only way you can attain that level of wealth is through playing a simulation game of it. Art's really good at envisioning futures that technology may be, you can get so bogged down in creating something that you don't think about what the application for this is outside of a practical application.
Laptop orchestra, it's going to be amazing. Nicholas Gold, who is in computer science, he runs a module on computer music, and they're going to be writing and developing a piece of music for the showcase on Friday. We've also got a make your own instrument.
2, 3, 4.
So I'm demonstrating the use of a low-cost 3D scanner to the public here, and people are usually very happy to be scanned themselves. To see an image of themselves in 3 dimensions is somewhat unusual, and it's also very beautiful because it reacts instantly. As you might see, the sensor picks up movement very easily because it was designed for that, and it picks up colors as well. And it's also used for more serious applications like medical imaging paired up with high-resolution cameras, art projects, and generally things that track movement. So what we have here is a very small device in a plastic housing that has the sensors, and it has one infrared projector, and it has one camera that basically reflects the pattern, and therefore the tool can reconstruct a depth map. It's on a handle that's 3D printed, and it's pink.
How did it go? I mean, considering how small the core team was, I think it went pretty well. The responses were brilliant. The people that I walked through sessions, and obviously I couldn't attend very much, but I dipped in and out of things, and everybody was really enjoying it, really, hands-on, big smiles on faces, and students really appreciated the opportunity to showcase their work and showcase their skills and pass those skills on. But what really surprised me was staff who came up to me, and several members of staff who'd run sessions who came up to me afterwards and went, do you know, it's been so nice to get the opportunity to do something completely different.
Our session is still to run, so we really don't know what's going to happen, but fingers crossed it's going to be great. Has a moment to share a bit of knowledge in a more informal way.
Taking people out of the comfort zone of their teaching and learning activities to get to know different things, I think makes us more conscious about what is happening around the institution, but also what's happening around the country, around the society. So I hope it happens more often or every year.
Because I've bridged the gap between virtual research and art. I have so many friends who are artists, but I don't know anyone else. It's so important. I don't really believe in the barriers between any kind of subject, and I think things like Digifest are great because they bring people from, technologists, artists, whatever, together, and everyone has a very different viewpoint on technology. I think it's really important. I think there should be more of it, to be honest.